Southpaw Huncho back with another video. We're going to talk about why eating high protein is BS. Yes, bro. Eating high protein is BS. All right. I guarantee you up to this point, you've probably been eating high protein. You're probably always trying to eat high protein, drink protein shakes, protein bars. You're probably trying to eat a lot of Chipotle because it has a lot of protein. You're trying to eat extra meat, extra chicken. And for some reason, bro, you're not happy with your results, right? You don't have shredded six-pack abs. You don't look anything like these guys on social media. You don't look anything like Huncho. You're still fat. You're not happy. You're not confident enough to take your shirt off on a beach or in front of women, right? So you're not happy with the way you look, but you've been eating this high protein diet that you hear all about. Just eat high protein, you'll build muscle, you'll burn fat. That's what we're going to talk about in this video, okay? Now pay attention, bro, because you should listen to me because I got receipts to show for it, right? As you see on the screen, I like to show receipts, right? You see my physique. You see where I was before. You see where I'm at now, right? So I obviously know what I'm talking about. But not only do I get myself in shape, I help other guys get in shape too, right? So what I'm about to tell you works for everybody, not only for me, for other guys too. And I want you to think about this, right? You see these guys here, these are my clients, right? Every single one of these guys, when they started working with me, they told me, bro, I eat high protein, right? This is one of the first things most clients tell me. They're like, bro, I just eat high protein. I eat high protein. And obviously, bro, the high protein isn't working. It's not the answer because look at their before pictures. No disrespect to any one of these men, right? Because right now, these guys look fucking awesome. But before, bro, let's be real. They look like shit. You know what I'm saying? The pot bellies, the man titties. So if these guys were eating high protein before and they look like shit before, obviously high protein is not the answer. And that's probably a mistake that you're making right now. You're thinking that, oh shit, I eat high protein, I'm good. But be real, bro. You're not happy with your results, right? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, I'm going to explain to you why you're eating way too much protein. And then I'm going to give you 3 reasons why eating high protein is actually BS. All right. So if you're looking to get lean and ripped, then you're going to want to watch the rest of this video. Now, we need to understand, why do we eat protein in the first place, okay? When you're in the gym, right, you're lifting weights. What you're doing is you're breaking down muscle, right? When you're doing curls, when you're doing shoulder presses, what you're doing is breaking down muscle, which means you're breaking down protein because that's what muscle is made from, is protein. So when you're in the gym, you're breaking down protein, right? And when you eat protein, you're using the protein that you eat to rebuild the protein that you're breaking down. So that's the first reason why we eat protein, is we're breaking down protein in the gym, right? And so we're trying to make up for the protein that we're breaking down with the protein that we're eating, all right? The second reason is to maintain the amount of muscle mass that you currently have, all right? So naturally, there are 2 questions that follow, right? Number 1 is, how much protein are you breaking down, right? How much protein are you breaking down? And I'm here to tell you, bro, you're not breaking down as much protein as you think, right? If you're out here lifting fucking 2 plates on the bench, squatting 2 plates, deadlifting 3 plates, doing 40-pound curls, 30-pound curls, you're not breaking down that much protein, right? So the amount of protein that you need to repair your body is not what you think it is, right? Unless you're like a competitive bodybuilder, or you're just going ape shit crazy in the gym, you're lifting 3 plates on the bench, you're squatting 4 plates, you're deadlifting 4 plates, you're shoulder pressing 100-pound dumbbells, 80-pound dumbbells. Unless you're at that level, bro, you don't need the amount of protein that you probably think you do, right? And then secondly, right, the second reason why you're eating too much protein is because you're eating too much protein for your body weight, okay? You're going to hear guys tell you, yo, eat 1 gram per pound of body weight. And I've actually switched my opinion on this topic over the years, right? Before, I used to agree with that, but now, after working with many different clients and trying things myself, I realized, bro, if I weigh 200 pounds and I'm 25% body weight, right? That means that my lean muscle mass is 200 times 2.5, and whatever that number is, you subtract it. So I'm guessing somewhere around 160 pounds, right? So I should be eating around 160 grams of protein. So the amount of protein that you actually need to maintain your muscle mass is much closer to your lean body mass versus your actual body weight. Because you'll constantly hear guys, yo, just eat 1 gram per pound of body weight, right? And I'm here to tell you that I tried both ways. I've worked with several clients, and the best results come from the lower intake of protein, bro, right? Why are you intaking 200 grams of protein if you weigh 200 pounds, but you're fucking 20% body fat, right? It makes no sense. You only have like 160, 165 pounds of muscle on your body. So you're over consuming protein, and we're actually going to get into that shit later, right? Now, the reason number one why eating high protein is BS is because protein is not the most important thing when it comes to getting lean or ripped. And I'm going to read that again. Protein is not the most important thing when it comes to get lean or getting ripped, okay? Eating in a caloric deficit with the proper macro distribution is. All right, and this is a common mistake I see with a lot of people, like I talked about. Literally, all of my clients tell me the same thing. I'm eating high protein. Yeah, but you're fat as hell. So obviously, it's not working out. So you can eat all the protein that you want, bro. If you're not eating in a caloric deficit every single day, you're going to look like shit and you'll never get lean. And this was a story of my life, right? Because I used to do the same thing y'all are doing. Oh, I eat high protein. I drink a lot of protein shakes, right? I eat a lot of protein cookies and protein bars, right? But I never looked shredded and lean. I never got my body fat down because I was focusing on the wrong thing, okay? Like I said, what should you focus on, okay? You should be tracking your calories and make sure that you're in a caloric deficit instead of just tracking your protein. If you're just tracking your protein, you're focusing on the wrong thing, bro. You should be focusing on tracking your calorie deficit, all right? You might be asking me, how do I track my calorie deficit? How do I get in a caloric deficit? You can do that by multiplying your body weight by 11, 12, or 13. If you're not active, if you're not an active guy, you're going to want to multiply by 11. Okay, if you're a very active person, you work a mobile job, you're going to want to multiply by 13. And generally speaking, bro, that's going to put you in your calorie deficit range, okay? Everybody's metabolism is different. Obviously, everyone has different genetics. Everyone has different lifestyles, but generally speaking, that's a good range where you're going to find your calorie deficit. The second thing you should focus on is properly distributing your macros, okay? If your macros are not properly distributed, you will not be able to maximize your fat loss and build muscle. So what the heck am I talking about, right? Because this might sound like Chinese to you, okay? So you need to have the right ratio between your carbs, fats, and proteins, okay? Carbs, fats, and proteins are the only nutrients that have calories. That's what calories are made of. So you need to have the proper balance between these three if you want to maximize muscle and maximize fat gain at the same time, okay? If you're overeating protein, then your ratio is gonna be thrown off, and it's gonna affect other areas, as we're gonna see later on in the video, okay? So instead of focusing on tracking your protein, focus on tracking your calorie deficit, and then you should not only be relying on high protein, okay? You should be having a proper balance between carbs, fats, and proteins, as we're gonna see later on in the video. Now, the second reason why high protein is BS is because most people overeat protein, which leads to over consuming calories, okay? And I'm gonna make a pretty vivid example that's gonna apply to probably 90% of you guys watching, so I want you to pay attention. Look what we have here, bro. We have Chipotle, we have Panda Express, and we have protein bars, okay? I guarantee you 98% of you guys watching are guilty of this, right? You guys go to Chipotle, you guys wanna eat high protein, you tell them, yeah, give me the chicken or give me the steak. Give me double, right? So give me double steak and give me double chicken. Or you go to Panda Express and then you get the teriyaki chicken, right? And I think on the sign it says like 60 grams of protein per serving. So you ask them for double serving because you're a big dude and you're trying to get jacked and ripped and all this stuff, right? Guys, you guys are overeating protein, number one. And all that chicken that you're having and that steak from these restaurants are filled with excess calories and oil, which is putting you in a caloric surplus, which is causing you to gain weight and gain fat, right? So you guys are eating quote unquote healthy, quote unquote high protein, but in reality, you're eating way too much fucking food and calories. And that's the reason why you're fat and you look like shit and you got man titties and your stomach is hanging out and you never get lean. Because you're literally overeating protein, which is causing you to over consume calories, right? So another example is eating a lot of protein bars, because I talk to guys, right? They be telling me, oh, I eat a lot of protein. All right, what you be eating? Oh, I have like a bunch of protein bars. Guys, look at this protein bar that I put in this picture right here. One protein bar has 350 calories. 350 calories, right? Think about that. And I guarantee you're not only eating one protein bar, right? So a lot of these protein bars have hidden calories in them as well, okay? Because some of these protein bars, they're not actually regulated through the FDA. Like some of these protein bars are considered supplements, and they're not even getting reviewed. So they're putting, oh, it has 200 calories. Meanwhile, it has like way more than that, right? So guys, you're overeating protein, number one, which is causing you to overconsume calories. And like we said, point number one, is you should be focused on tracking your calorie deficit, not your protein. And this is the reason why. Because if you track your protein, you're already tracking a high amount of protein, which you don't even fucking need. And on top of that, it's causing you to be in a caloric surplus, which is causing you to gain fat, which is causing you to look like shit. Does that make sense? So that's the second reason why eating high protein is BS, is because most people overeat protein, which leads to overconsumption of calories, okay? Now, the third reason why eating high protein is BS is because high protein can lead to low energy levels, all right? And I'm sure you're reading this and you're like, yo, Huncho, bro, you're tripping. What are you talking about, man? We're supposed to be eating a bunch of protein because we're trying to build muscle. Yeah, bro, I used to think the same thing, all right? But briefly, let me explain, okay? If you manage to stay within a calorie deficit, all right, let's say you're eating 2,000 calories and you're actually staying within that deficit, right? So you're tracking your calories. If you maintain your protein intake high, it means that you're going to have to trade off your calories from the carbs and the fats in order to make up for that higher protein. All right. So if you're staying within your calorie deficit, right, you're doing point number one, you're sticking to that, and then you start to consume a high number of protein, you're going to have to trade off the intake of carbs and fats to make up for that high, to make up room for that high amount of protein, right? And inevitably, this leads to severely low energy levels during your workouts and during your day-to-day activities. Now, why is that the case? The reason for that is because carbs are used as energy for the muscle, okay? Your muscle is made up of water and glycogen, which comes from carbs. So if you're eating low carbs, you're depleting your muscle of energy, right? That's why you feel flat in the gym. That's why you feel low energy. And also your brain is using glucose as fuel, which is carbs, right? Unless you're doing like a carnivore diet, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video, right? But most of you guys are not doing that, right? So if you're eating low carbs, right, you're eating high protein and you're trading off your carb calories for the protein calories, your workouts are going to suffer because you're not eating carbs. And then your brain function is going to suffer because you're not eating enough carbs to function, because your brain is running off glucose off carbs, okay? And also, you're trading off your calories from fats and using it for protein, right? But fats is actually responsible for the hormones in your body, okay? For all the hormone functions in your body, like your thyroid, your brain hormones, your testosterone, all that stuff, right? So if you're taking away your calories from fats and you're putting it towards the protein, you're undershooting your hormone production. And that's very, very important. And I see that as a really common mistake, believe it or not, right? So this is actually the reason why a high protein intake, even though you might be still following a calorie deficit, is actually not good, because your workouts are going to suffer, okay? If your workouts suffer, you're not going to build muscle. You're not going to build muscle, all right? And then if your hormones are not optimal, you're not going to build muscle and burn fat optimally either, right? So there needs to be a proper balance, all right? We don't need as much protein as we think we do, right? It's actually better to make up for the calories using carbs and fats as opposed to very high protein, okay? Now, I like to keep my protein on the moderate side, okay? That way I can keep my carbs and my fats higher while still maintaining a calorie deficit, right? I get better performance in the gym. I feel better. My hormones respond better, right? There's been times when I've been cutting down, like my fucking dick goes limp, bro, because like my calories were so low and I was eating so much protein that my fats had to be taken so low, right? Which ended up negatively affecting my sex drive, right? So you actually just get a better overall sense of well-being if you properly balance your macros, okay? So the truth is, you only need so much protein, right? After a certain amount of protein, check this out, bro. The body has no use for the protein, and it turns the protein into glucose, right? AKA carbs, through a process called gluconeogenesis. Now, let me break it down for you, right? Your body can only use a certain amount of protein. After that, the body is literally going to convert the excess protein into carbs, bro. It's literally converting the excess protein into carbs. So why not just eat the fucking carbs? Why not just eat the fucking carbs and have a better workout and feel better, right? You don't need all that protein that you think you do, okay? Now, let's answer this question. What is the correct amount of protein, all right? And I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this video, but like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've gotten lean and ripped myself many times, and I've helped a lot of guys do it, right? So I know what I'm talking about. So the right amount of protein depends on several factors, okay? And I want you to pay attention. Number one, it depends how long you've been lifting for. All right, a lot of newbies, a lot of rookies, they make the mistake. If you're watching this and you're a rookie, pay attention, okay? If you just started lifting, there is absolutely no reason why you should be eating 1 gram per pound of body weight. All right. If you weigh 200 pounds and you're eating 200 grams of protein and you just started lifting, that makes no sense. Why does it make no sense? Because you're not even lifting heavy weight. You're not lifting intense. You're new to lifting weights. So you're not breaking down protein, bro. You're barely breaking down protein in the gym. You're not causing a lot of protein breakdown, a lot of muscle damage. So the amount of protein that you need to repair the muscle is really not that much, right? If you've been lifting for 10 years and you're lifting heavy, you're training intense, you know how to train intense. You're lifting fucking 2.5, 3 plates on a bench, squatting 3 plates, deadlifting 4 plates, you're shoulder pressing heavy, you're curling heavy. That's a different story, right? That person should probably have a higher protein intake, right? But for most rookies that are starting off, you don't need that much protein. Why? Because you're not breaking down that much protein, if that makes sense, okay? Now, the second factor, it depends on how heavy you're lifting, like I talked about. All right. Even if you've been lifting for a long time, but you're not lifting heavy, right? If you're not fucking benching 2.5, 3 plates, like I said, if you're not squatting 3 plates plus, if you're not deadlifting 4 plates plus, you do not need 1 gram per pound of body weight. Okay. You do not need it. You're not breaking down enough protein. You're not training that intense, if that makes sense. All right. The third factor is that it depends on your lean body mass. Okay. For 90% of people watching this video, all right, you're going to want to eat 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So for example, if you weigh 250 pounds and you're at 30% body fat, that means you have 75 pounds of body fat. So you subtract 75 pounds from 250 pounds, and that's going to give you 175 pounds. That is your lean body mass. So you're going to want to eat 175 grams of protein if you weigh 250 pounds. All right. You might be watching this, bro, and you're like, nah, bro, you're tripping, man. I'm going to lose muscle. All right. I mean, how's that been working out for you, right? You've been eating high protein and you still look like shit. So take some humble pie. I'm trying to help you out, right? Now, for those of you that are experienced, if you're like me, you've been training for a lot of years and you train heavier and you have quite a bit of muscle on you, that's when you can intake 1 gram per pound of body weight, right? Especially when I'm cutting. When I'm cutting, guys, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm around 220 right now. So let's say I was to start my cut, I would be eating 220 grams of protein, all right? I would not be eating my lean body mass because I've been lifting for a long time and I have a good amount of muscle, all right? But most of you guys watching are not at this stage yet. That's why I'm telling you guys, eating high protein, eating high protein is BS, all right? So that was the message of the video, bro. I really wanted to make this video because I saw this as a common denominator amongst a lot of my clients that I'm helping out. It's like, damn, these guys are eating high protein, bro, but they don't need this shit, bro. They need to be focusing on these other areas that's actually going to get you results. So if you found that that was helpful, hit the like button. As always, if you want to work with me one-on-one, right? You want to 10x your progress. You want to make a transformation and you're serious. You're serious about looking great. Just book a link in the call in the description. All right. Hit the link in the description and we'll book a call and we'll see if you feel like this is the program for you, bro. But if not, that's all good. Just watch my videos. And if you disagree with the video, I'm curious to hear what you're going to say in the comments, all right? So let me know in the comment section what you thought. Southpaw Huncho checking out. Peace.